Hey guys, Jano0, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Whatever part of the world that you are in. Well, in my part of the world, I think maybe winter is finally on us. It has its pros and cons with it being warm. On the warm side, the firewood pile is still pretty big. We haven't had to use a lot of it. We don't have to carry water 2 or 3 times a day in buckets to make sure that the critters have all got a fresh drink. The downside is, when it was warm, our trees are starting to bud out already. And now that it's going to get cold, I'm sure that that's going to freeze them. And I'm not sure that we're going to have any nuts or fruit this year. It all depends. And of course the mud that we've been having to deal with for months and months and months. It's been muddy. Man alive, I'm sick to death of the mud. It just makes everything difficult. I'm not sure whether I'd have a foot of snow or knee-deep mud. I don't know. It's all bad. But you can see we got the heat exchanger going. You can see the smoke in the background. There is some snow flurries coming on. I think we're supposed to get a little bit of snow out here in the hills this coming week. Holy crap. It's good coffee. Somebody asked me what I drink. This is Maxwell House. I'm a whatever's on sale kind of guy, and every once in a while I will treat myself to some Odyssey coffee. On our website, there's a link to Odyssey Coffee, which has got just outstanding coffee, and every once in a while I'll treat myself to some of that. But you know what? I just like coffee. So, speaking of the website, before I forget, we are going to be having this up for auction. This, stand up here, is a whitetail deer buck's hide. It's got the hair on. The hide is already preserved and broken. The hair is set. It's a nice hide. It come out good and soft. This will make a great wall hanger, a good rug, a good table, cover for your coffee table. If somebody's looking for some material to make one of those hats like I made with the hair still on, this will be available on the website. And it's come off of an 8-point buck. I don't know if you guys remember the head that I was boiling for the European mount. That's the deer that this hide came off of. So if anybody's interested, it'll be up for auction on the website. And I'll leave a link to the website where you can go and check it out if you're interested in having a deer hide. There's some more hides in the background. I don't know if you can see them or not, that are smaller than this one, but there will be another one coming up that we'll put on the auction at a later date when I get finished working it, getting it all broke and all that kind of stuff. Right now we got in the tanning solution, we've got some raccoons and some rabbits, materials for making some hats and so on and so forth. And when we do get a hat made that's not already spoken for, then we will put it up for auction, and I will always let you guys know in a coffee chat or something that we're putting it up for auction on the website. And we're always adding new stuff to the shop there on the website too, so check back every once in a while and see we got new hoodies and new shirts and new graphics and stuff like that. So the furs, I will have some raccoon skins and maybe possum skins, and maybe if I get lucky another couple of beaver skins that will be done up here over the next month or so that may be able to be bought. I know there's some folks who asked me if I can make them hats out of the coon hides, and I'll see if I can. I'll let you know. But usually that stuff, a lot of it's like I'm making a hat for the gentleman, the family that owns our greenhouse down here, man. He's like the best dude ever. He's a great dude. They're a great family. I love them to death. And I'm going to make him a hat in exchange for plants, garden plants and hay and stuff like that we get from them for the next, however long that we agree on. That's just kind of a way that I can, get things that we need. I can trade that stuff off and get things that we need here locally. And if we have stuff like that that's not spoken for, then we'll auction it and make them available. I just don't, you can contact me via message, and if I have the material and I have the time and I have the stuff, I can make a hat. But most of the time, the ones that we make are either spoken for or going to be on the auction site. So a lot of folks said they want to see more trapping videos. You know, I may take the camera. I'm going to run a trap line this coming weekend. But, you know, I'm not a big trapper. I'm not even really any good at it. You know, I get lucky, just like any other dude does. But I'm not good, and I don't have a great big giant trap line. I'm not going to make trapping tutorial videos. There's a bunch of them out there. You know, Big Bear Homestead has got a whole playlist of trapping tutorial videos. You know, the Meat Trapper has got great trapping videos. There's just a whole bunch of channels out there that's got really good videos on trapping, how to, and so on and so forth. Like I said, Big Bear, the Meat Trapper, Wolfer Nation, Coon Creek Outdoors. There's just a whole bunch of them. And I'll leave a link to a couple of channels in the description. If you're interested in looking and learning about trapping, I'll leave a link to a couple of channels in the description box that do a really good job of trapping. They're good trappers. I do it just so we can get some fresh meat. I do it so we can thin out the predator population for the smaller critters, because raccoons will just devastate your barn if they get in there, as will possums and skunks. And you know, and we do for the little bit of fur that we use to make stuff. We don't trap enough to where we're going to sell, you know, huge auction furs and stuff. We sell. We'll get all of our furs and we'll tan them, and we make things out of them. And no coffee for you, man. And we'll sell them that way. That's the only way that I'm able to make it, trapping furs. This little cat, somebody dropped this little cat off. That really aggravates me when people do that. People bring kittens and puppies and dogs and cats out here in the middle of nowhere and just dump them off. And somebody dumped one off down the road at Miss Nora's house too, and then they just expect us to deal with them. You know what I mean? To me, that's a coward. Take care of your own responsibility. Don't try to dump your animals out in the middle of nowhere and expect them to make it on their own, or expect them, you know, to be took care of by whoever discovers them. That's the cowardly way out. Man up. Don't dump them off out of town. Find a no-kill shelter. There's plenty of them around, and take them to the no-kill shelter, and they will find them a home. They will get them neutered and spayed, and they'll take good care of the animals. You know, don't just bring them out here. That aggravates me. And I'm sorry about that little bit of a rant, but it aggravates me when people just take little critters and drop them off out in the middle of nowhere and let the hillbillies deal with them, I guess, is what they figure. Oh, we'll just take them and let the billies deal with them. They know how to take care of animals. Well, thanks. Now we got another mouth to feed. I think we're going to keep this little dude, though. We need a new outside cat. Our older cat, Boots, who looked pretty much exactly like that, has passed on. And so I think you're going to be our new outdoor kitty, huh? We'll call you Boots Jr. We just call you Junior. Would that work? Huh? He's still a little skittish, but, you know, just a little more time that we spend with him, then, you know, he'll get a little more better. But he is going to be an outside cat if we decide to keep him. If not, then we will take him to our local ARF shelter, which is a no-kill shelter, and deal with that. No coffee for you. It'll make you nervous. It'll make you too nervous, man. So anyway, that's it about the trapping. I will run, you know, I'll make a couple of videos a year. I made some videos last year about making some trap sets and doing a little trap line. And I probably will next year, next trapping season, just because it's a part of my life, and that's a part of what we do to you know, to get by. And plus, you know, you deal with a lot of crap too when you make a trapping video about folks. You get a lot of grief from folks who don't understand how the trap works. They don't understand the reason why trapping is necessary. You know, they say, well, just hunt the animals. Well, I can't be out there by that manger all day, all night, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, hunting like a trap can. You know, I mean, I can't do it. A trap is always working. It's always there. It's always there and working, and it's the best way to thin out the predators. We're not trying to decimate the raccoon population. We're not trying to kill them all. We're trying to thin out their numbers. They have their purpose in nature just like everything else does. But when they get overpopulated, then it becomes an issue. They spread disease. You know, they start getting into people's gardens and their chicken houses and so on and so forth. When they're overpopulated, they will look for food, you know, in other places. To whereas normally, naturally, they're usually running the creeks and the rivers, finding little fish and mussels and crawdads and cornfields and stuff like that. So. And we're going to do a raccoon cooking video here sometime in the next couple of days. Whenever we cook one of these raccoons up, we'll do a video on it. I think we're going to make tacos out of them because they're just another kind of meat. It's just another sort of meat that, you know, it's just meat. And then, you know, the taste it's going to taste like tacos when we get done with it. I don't know how to describe it. People ask me what coons taste like. I don't know. They taste like a coon. And just think of it as another form of meat. We're going to boil it, pull it off the bone, and fry it and make tacos with it. And it's just one of them things that's just another fresh meat source for us. And we don't mind. And a lot of folks, say, well, they're dirty, they're nasty, they eat garbage. Well, that may be true in cities. There are raccoons in urban areas, and they may eat out of the dumpsters, and they may not look healthy. But out here, where we are, out in the hills, our coons normally are corn-fed or river-fed. There's not a whole lot of garbage that they're going to get into and stuff like that. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we go into the cooking video. We'll talk a little bit more on what you can look for, if you think the animal's sick and so on and so forth. So, but other than that, man, there's not been a whole lot going on. We've been working the hides and working the furs and tending our critters and tending the fire and waiting on winter to get here, dealing with the mud. This is just what we do this time of year. Hopefully I will be going fishing here pretty soon. I got the itch, need to get on the riverbank and catch some fresh fish. But if I do a video on that, it'll be on the fishing channel. So, other than that, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everybody's going to, this is out west, they've been having winter for sure. We haven't had a whole lot of winter here in my neck of the woods, which is southern Ohio, here in Lawrence County. Haven't had winter yet, but it looks like it may start settling in on us here coming February. So, but anyway, like I said, I'll leave links to everything that I talked about, so go check out the links. And you guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Oh, God bless. And
Buzz, the end.